Hi, everyone. So, my first curriculum night did not record, so I am just going to quickly go through it again so you guys can watch this if you would like. So, just to start, a little bit about me. Oops, there we go. A little bit about me. I know I already did this at Meet the Teacher Night, but I thought I would do it again in case you didn't make it. My name is Erin Marvel. I grew up here in Wheat Ridge. This picture right here is a picture of me in first grade. I went to Prospect Valley all the way through sixth grade, and I actually was a first grader in this exact classroom. So I'm very much so a part of this community. I always have been. My family still lives just right up the street. My sister and her family live right up the street as well, and my husband and I have a house a couple of blocks west of the school. So then that middle picture is me and my dog, Champ. I'm sure you've heard a lot about him. And the picture on the right is my husband, Brendan, and I. We've been married for 3 years, and he also grew up in this community as well. So, just a little bit about my family. I come from a family of teachers. My mom taught kindergarten at Vivian. My sister is a middle school English language arts teacher in Denver Public Schools, and those are her little twin sons. They are 2 years old. And so, yeah, I come from a family of teachers. And then just a little bit more about me. One of my hobbies is running. I love to trail run. So that's a picture of Champ and I up in Mount Falcon in Morrison this summer. So I spend a lot of my time on the weekends running. I do love trail running, but it's rattlesnake season. So I've been road running a lot more, and I'm currently training for my 14th half marathon in November. Hopefully, we'll see if it actually happens. So here is a picture of our schedule. I know I've sent this out to you guys. So right now, up until 10:45, I am live on Zoom doing one big class meeting, and then I rotate through each group doing small reading groups. If I don't see your child on Monday and Wednesday, I see them on Tuesday and Thursday for small reading group. Eventually, we're hoping to do a writing lesson on Zoom from 10:50 to 11:10. 11:30 to 12:45 will be big break time where the kids can just do lunch, recess, that kind of stuff. And the science and social studies slides, those will always be posted. Those will always be asynchronous. So I will never be teaching that live. So you can just kind of do those at your convenience. And then 12:45 to 1:30 is specials on Zoom. I know it has not been necessarily taking the whole entire 45 minutes. So just that will be flexible. And then starting this week, we're going to try to do our live math lesson on Zoom at 1:30 every day. And I am super flexible with this. I'm not sure how well having a live lesson at that time of day is going to go. I know I have the most captive audience in the mornings. And so if we need to maybe alternate the math and writing lesson on Zoom, so it's more in the morning time, or we're just going to kind of play it by ear and see how it goes this week, and then we will go from there. So this is the same exact schedule as just showing Tuesday and Thursday. I meet with 3 other reading groups. And then on Fridays, they're just going to be different every Friday pretty much, depending on whether or not we have packet pickup. So if the parents are coming to pick up packets, then our morning meeting won't start until 9:30. But if we do not have packet pickup, we will start on 8:30 just like normal. And there will never be reading groups on Fridays. There will just be like a Scholastic News and a craft and that kind of stuff. Just to get a hold of me, email is always the best way. I have it up all day and it will ding when I get an email, so I hear it. So yeah, just stick with email for now. As far as attendance goes, I just want to make sure everybody knows that it's totally okay to take a day. I know since we are remote learning, you can be on vacation and hop on in and do it with us, but I never want you to feel like you have to. Treat it like in-person learning. If you want to be on vacation and take the day, it is totally okay. And in order for the absence to be excused, you just need to either call me or not call me, email me or call the office. Homework this year is a little bit tricky. I know pretty much everything they're doing feels like homework, so I do not want to add more to your plate. However, I did send home the math homework binders like we typically do any other year, and it really is just supplement pages that go along with whatever I am teaching in math that week. So that is optional, and I will in my Monday emails include which pages correlate with what I have been teaching that week. So you're welcome to follow along, but I also understand that that might be a battle you don't want to pick, and I'm totally okay with that. And then reading, again, every school year we try to say, read 20 minutes at night. And again, I know they're doing that during the day too, probably with you. So if that is a battle, don't pick it. I know they are reading throughout the day, and that's great. All right, so our classroom rules also kind of funky this year, but we do have school rules and we follow the GOLD values is what we call them. Give respect, offer kindness, listen attentively, and do your best. And we have a committee of teachers that just kind of came up with what giving respect looks like for online learners, what offering kindness can look like for online learners. So I'm going to start incorporating that into our daily lessons. I feel like we've just kind of been on survival mode, but starting soon, we will actually really start putting some more emphasis on these. And we do still have positive prospectors at school, which are just little slips of paper that we hand out when the students are demonstrating one of these GOLD values. I'm not sure how I'm going to do those virtually, but I am going to find a way. And then we also do have a student of the month where the teacher chooses one student each month that exemplifies all of these values daily. And those students will be getting a certificate in the mail when they are student of the month. So I just wanted to show you guys this. This is what all the first grade teachers in the district see when we log on to look at the curriculum. So if you look, it goes by the calendar each month, and then it tells us kind of what we should be teaching that time of year. So if you look, right now we're late September. We're starting the middle of Unit 2 math this week. We're starting light and sound. So yeah, you can just kind of see it that way. And then when we click on something, like if I were to click on addition and subtraction strategies, then it would lead me to this where it tells me all the things all the things that students need to be able to do by the end of the unit. So just so you guys know, we're not really randomly planning. And if your child is in a pod with other students from Jeffco, all first grade teachers get on and we see these exact same things, and we need to be teaching them pretty much at the same time. So we are very aligned with other Jeffco schools. As far as reading goes, I always say first grade is just a magical year. I'm such a firm believer that reading is developmental. Some kids read, or some kids crawl at different times. The kids walk at different times. They talk at different times, and they read at different times. And I think the magic just seems to happen when they're in first grade. Things click, and it really is amazing to see. So if, like I said, it really is developmental. I know a lot of you are stressing or thinking your kid is behind, but I promise you that the puzzle pieces, they're all going to come together and your child will be fine. So in first grade, I think the biggest thing is just to foster a love of reading. We want the kids to want to read, think that reading is really fun, being read to is fun. So that being said, at home, I don't really care who does the reading. If you want to do the reading as the parent, if big siblings do the reading, it should never be a forced time where, you're going to sit in this chair for 20 minutes and I don't want to hear from you. I want it to be a fun time at home and make reading something that they look forward to. I'm teaching them all the skills to become great readers. So truly for now, I think step one is just fostering that love of books. So each of your children are in a reading group, and they are in a reading group with other kids that are at the same reading level. So each group is working on a complete different skill set on just the next step of things that they need. A couple of weeks ago, I did the DIBELS assessment on each child, which is just phonemic awareness and oral fluency. So telling me the letter names, the sounds and words. They have to sound out little 3-letter words. It's very basic at the beginning of the year. In the middle of the year, it turns into more reading sentences. So there definitely is a big jump between the August test and the December test. It definitely gets a lot harder, but your kids will be ready for it. So don't stress about that. I will be sending home how they did on this Friday, this packet pickup. And then as far as the benchmark assessment system, that is when I hand them a real book, a real leveled book, and they read it to me. So that's how I determine what level they are. When you see the letters on books, level A, B, C are numbers. And so I also did that. So first graders typically should come in at a level C reading, and they are expected to leave at a level I. So first grade is the biggest jump of any other grade. Going from a level C to an I is a huge jump. But like I said, it's developmentally appropriate because by May, majority of the kids will be able to read a level I. So don't stress about that. And I will also be sending that information home in the next couple weeks. And we also have conferences coming up too. So we'll talk a little bit more about it then. For phonics, first grade also, it's just a very, very basic and slow moving program that we follow called Fundations. And it's just really teaching those essential things. So if you feel like it's moving slow, it is, but they are the foundation of their phonics that they're going to need for the rest of their lives. For writing, we have really fun units. Right now, we're working on small moments. So pretty much just writing about a memory that has happened. Then we have a poetry unit, which the kids always love. Then we do a review writing unit, which is my personal favorite. The kids get to form opinions and explain why. And we always have the kids go to a restaurant and fill out a little booklet, a review while they're sitting there at the restaurant about like the cleanliness and how nice was the waiter and how was the food. And then they bring it back and we all actually write a review of our restaurants, and then I mail them to the restaurants. And so last year we had the Chick-fil-A cow came. We had free pizza from Pizzeria Locale. Someone brought us lunch from there. So it's really, really fun. A couple of the reviews are actually hanging up in restaurants right now. There's one at Parisi, I think, and one at Table Mountain Inn. So that's definitely one of my favorite units. And then we do nonfiction chapter books where they pick an animal and do a diagram and write facts and all that good stuff. And then at the end of the year, we wrap it all up with a realistic fiction series, kind of like a Junie B. Jones series, or they have one character across multiple books. For math, we follow math expressions. First grade is just teaching all the different strategies, how you can solve problems on your own. And so I understand sometimes it's like, why are we teaching them these crazy ways to do these very simple problems? But each kid really does kind of choose their own strategy that works best for their brain. And so I do actually really, really like this curriculum. And I think it's setting them up for success in the future. Just to kind of explain the process of how we teach math in first grade is we start out teaching concrete, very concrete, and then we move to representational and then abstract. So what that means is like concrete problems like this, where they're literally counting the flowers and writing 5 plus 4 equals 9. It's very physical. They can see it. They can touch it. They can count it. Very, very basic. And that's kind of what we're doing right now. And I know for some of your children, that seems silly easy. And I want you to know that it is having this basic stuff at the beginning is going to let us be able to move so quickly here in the future. So you start out concrete and then we move to representational. So instead of having these pictures, then they understand that when we're adding 4 plus 3, they understand that 4 is representing 4 flowers or whatever. And then towards the end of the year, it's more abstract thinking. This problem right here, number 10, says some birds are in a tree. 5 more birds fly into the tree. Now there are 13. How many birds were in the tree before? So in order to be able to solve these problems successfully, we need to start with things like this so they can fall back on that strategy if they ever need to. We also have Dreambox, which is another online program. And I know the screen time is a struggle for a lot of people to wrap their heads around the amount of screen time. And I completely agree with that. That being said, I do think Dreambox is a great program just to spend 15-ish minutes a day. It's very kid-friendly. They make it seem like a game. And Dreambox actually is very individualized to each child. So it considers the amount of time your child takes to solve a problem, whether they get the problem right or wrong, that kind of stuff, in order to decide what problem they get next. So if your child takes, going too fast here. If your child takes 3 minutes to solve a very simple problem, then Dreambox will give them another problem just like it until they get quicker and more accurate at it. Or if they're flying through problems, it will know the next step. So no two kids are doing the same thing on Dreambox. It is totally individualized to where they're at and what they need. And then for science and social studies, our units this year, just quickly to go through, we have family traditions, light and sound, notable people, places, and symbols, structure, function, and information processing, economics, space, and geography. So we kind of alternate social studies, science, social studies, science throughout the whole year. And that is it. So when I did the live presentation, I didn't have too many questions. But if you do have one, please go ahead and email in. Even when I am doing live math or writing lessons, I will also be posting in the slides what you are supposed to do just in case you don't make that live lesson. So I'm looking forward to getting feedback on how that goes. And please let me know if you have any questions.